How's it going, everyone? This is Brett Darian, and today we're going to be talking about adding external storage to your PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 ships with an 825 gigabyte SSD. There seems to be a little confusion about the drive itself. Like, is it actually a 1 terabyte drive and they just limit how much of it you can use, or is it a real 825 gigabyte drive that they made specifically for the PS5? I haven't really found no real information to really confirm that either way. But regardless, the PS5 has 825 gigabytes of internal storage you can use. And then when you subtract all the system information, system files from Sony, you really only have like 600 gigs or so you can really use to install games and stuff on. And you must install PS5 games to the internal drive. And if you add, if you play games like Call of Duty and Battlefield and all that space can be used up really quickly. Now, you can upgrade the internal space, the internal storage of your PS5 as well. There's a separate M2 slot, then you can pop this side out, and then you can add your own M2 drive to it, and that'll vastly increase the internal storage. Now, that I may do later, and that'll be another video whenever I do that. That probably won't be for a while though. But for this video, I really wanted to focus on adding external storage to the PS4, because if you're like me and you bought your PS5 and then you sold your PS4, but you still have all your PS4 backlog of games that you want to play on your PS5, you're going to need more storage to install those games on. And so we're going to go through a couple different options. Now, the least expensive option is to do what I did. I got a portable 2.5 inch hard drive. This is a Western Digital black P10 game drive. And this is a 2 terabyte. They also sell 3 terabyte, 4 terabyte, and 5 terabyte, but 2 terabytes should be enough storage for how many PS4 games I own and will play. And this has write speeds of up to 140 megabytes a second, which is much slower than what USB 3.0 is capable of. But from the research I've been doing, the internal drive, the internal stock drive of the PS4 really only had a write speed of like 100 megabytes a second. So this is technically a little better than that. But if you're like me and you never upgraded the internal drive of your PS4 or PS4 Pro, then this drive right here shouldn't be any worse than that. In fact, it might still be a little better. And since I was really focused on getting just storage and I wasn't really too worried about the fastest performance and fastest speeds, then this is a good option for me. And you can find this drive for about $80, and if you shop around, you can find it for even less than that. So it's actually not that expensive. Now, the next step up from this would be getting a PC hard drive, like one that's 7200 RPM, because this is only 5400 RPM. So like if you get an external hard drive for your PC, and you can also hook that up to here, and that will give you maybe some slightly faster read and write speeds. Now, of course, if you want the absolute top performance and the best load times and everything, you'll obviously want an external SSD. But those are obviously more expensive, way more expensive than this. But if that is what you're looking for, if that's what's really important to you, then that's what you'll have to spend your money on. But for me, though, I just wanted some extra storage to install my PS4 games on, so that's what I'll be using this drive for. So I'm just going to open it up, and we'll take a look at it, and then we'll install it, and we'll see how that process is. So we'll just open this up real quick. Just break the back seal, and that may not have broke all the way through. There you go. Alright, so in the box we have the drive itself, and it also comes, of course, with a cable. So the drive itself is very thin, but I really like the material. It's like really thick and metal, so this is really sturdy material. And here we have, this also comes with a redemption code, so I'm going to try that out and see if I can get a free PC games. That'd be really cool. And a little instruction manual, and of course the USB cable. So we'll put all this to the side for now. So it comes with a USB 3.0 cable, and of course you will use that to hook up the drive to your PlayStation 5. So we'll just hook this up in the back here, like that. And the PlayStation 5 has 2 USB 3.0 ports on the back, and you will just simply connect this up to the back there, and then there you go. And that's really all you have to do. Now, there's one other option you can do, and you can also get an adapter that will convert this to a USB-C port, and then you can hook it up to the front of the console using the USB-C port, which is right there. But I really don't want to do that because I don't like having cables just hanging out the front of the console. This doesn't look very good. Alright, so I'm going to hook this up now, and I'm going to install games to it, and we'll see what that process is like, and I will let you guys know what I think of it. Okay, so I have the hard drive hooked up to the PS5 now. You can see it's got a little LED light in the front, and you might be able to hear the drive spinning a little bit. I don't know if you can or not. And of course it's hooked up right here to one of the back USB 3.0 ports. So the first thing you're going to do after you connect the drive is to format it so that you can use it with the console. So to do that, you need to go over here to the settings menu and go down to storage, and then USB extended storage, and then your drive should show up right here on screen. And then there should be the option down here to format it as USB extended storage. Now you can download PS5 games and store them onto the drive, but you cannot play them off of there. You're going to have to, you need to copy them back to the internal storage of the console in order to play them. But you can still store them on the hard drive in case you just want to keep them on there until you're ready to play them. But you can install PS4 games to the USB drive and play them directly off there. So if you want to do that, you can. And I will be trying that out to see how that works. You can also install PS4 games to the internal drive as well of your PS5 for also faster load times. And if you have USB extended storage drive you're using on your PS4, you can also use it on your PS5. So you can use either one. So if you're already using an external drive on your PS4, you can just simply hook it up to your PS5 and it'll work. So we're going to format this now, and we'll see how long that takes. Of course, when you format the drive, all data on it will be erased, but this is a new drive, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have anything on it anyway. So we'll continue. And it is now formatting. And that's how quick it is. So PS4 games and apps will now be installed to the USB drive. But of course, you can change this at any time by going to Settings, Storage, and USB Extended Storage, and then turn it on or off. So, and you can see there's actually 1.84 terabytes of free space left. And you can see that setting right here, so I can turn this off if I want, so that it can still install PS4 games to the PS5 to the internal storage of the PS5. And of course, if I turn that on, then it'll always install PS4 games to the USB drive. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to download a PS4 game to the drive and see how fast it downloads. So I'll look through my collection here. We're just going to try to install Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. So we will download that. And it is currently downloading. So this is the download progress. So it is downloading right now, and you can see this light here does kind of pulsate when there's data transfer going on. So it doesn't really blink, it just pulsates. But as you can see, we're already at 1.7 gigs, so that's really not bad. Seems to be downloading about as fast as it was downloading to the internal storage of the PS5, so that's not bad at all. But of course, you know, like the box said, this hard drive has a rated transfer speed of like 140 megabytes a second, and that's over 1 gigabit per second. So that's pretty much faster than what most internet providers offer right now. So download speeds to this drive should still be pretty good. The biggest difference when it comes to hard drives versus SSDs is really in-game performance. Alright, so now the game has finished downloading, and it is now ready to play. And of course it automatically starts playing it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel out of this for now.
Activision presents.
And we're going to try to boot it back up. And you could even see that the game is installed to the internal drive by this icon right here. So that lets you know that a game is installed on your USB drive. So we will press the button right now and we'll boot this game up and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, well that was pretty quick, maybe about 8 to 10 seconds.
Activision presents a smashing blast from the past. Developed by Vicarious Visions.
And there we go, we're in the game. So that seemed pretty quick. So something else I want to try is let's see if we can move this game to the internal storage after it focuses. There we go. So we see we got 23.98 gigabytes used up on the drive now. Alright, so I am trying to move. Alright, so it now hasn't finished installing. So it did take several minutes to install the game using the external drive. It did take several seconds. Now this hasn't updated. It still says it's installing. Let me see if it'll refresh. Alright, there we go. So we can now move this game to the console storage. And we'll see what that process is like. So it's transferring that data. It looks like it'll take a few minutes to do that. And then once it completely moves over to the internal storage, we'll try booting it up again and see how long it takes to boot up from there using the internal drive. So transferring games back and forth between the internal drive and the external drive would probably work faster if this was an SSD or even a 7200 RPM drive. But since this is a 5400 RPM little portable drive, this does take a little bit longer to do. You know, but that's to be expected, I guess. Okay, so that has finished. I think that took maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, which probably isn't bad for this little portable drive. But of course, that probably would have been a lot faster if you were using an external SSD. But we will now. The game should now be installed on the internal drive, and as you can see, that icon there has disappeared. So we will now boot the game up again, and we'll see if it loads any faster. And it looks like it did actually load quite a bit faster. We're already into the game. Yeah. So yeah, that definitely was a lot faster, I will admit. That is a lot faster. But we are talking about just seconds here.
By vicarious visions. It's crashed.
But anyway, though, that does give you some kind of an idea of what kind of performance you can expect out of this drive, and how much of a speed increase an SSD actually does give you. It actually does give you quite a bit of a load time decrease. It really does help load times a lot. So if you're someone who really values the performance of your games, you might want to spend the extra money and get an SSD to get that extra performance. But if you don't mind sacrificing some performance to get a better value of storage space for the money, I think this drive would satisfy most people, and I think it'll be good enough for the average user. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this video informative and you learned something from it, and hope this has helped you in some way. So feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. And once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.